We vibing with another show. Tell me everybody, can you catch this flow? We're breaking down mental class and so you know who we win. Tony Dixon and Friends. They tell me that the sky's the limit. Your purpose calling you, baby, you make the difference. Take charge, do you know who you win? Tony Dixon and Friends. Who we win? Tony Dixon and Friends. Yeah, yeah. Tony Dixon and Friends. Tony Dixon and Friends. Who we win? Tony Dixon and Friends.
All rough, man.
That's you.
Let's get it kicked off, man. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Tony Dixon and Friends podcast. My name is Eric Kecalf, and we're here today to have healthy, real conversations, true, authentic conversations about real life leadership and hope to make an impact on your life. I'm joined today with my big brother, Mr. K. Beezy, Kecalf Bailey.
How you doing, brother?
Man, life is good,
Yes,
man. What about
is.
you?
Yeah, God's good, man. Enjoying life.
Ain't that wrong with that, man. And then I'm also here with former University of Alabama standout, former Dallas Cowboy, and now author, and I like to call him my big brother and friend, Mr. Tony Dixon. TD, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm trying to go beyond the glass.
Okay, I like that. Hey, man, well, I'll tell you what, you definitely had a life of impact and purpose, man. So
I sure appreciate
you
it.
beyond the glass, my brother.
Let's go, man.
Yes, sir.
So, listen, we got to get this started right, man. Today, as always, I want to make sure that our guests and our listeners get an opportunity to go out and check out your book, Beyond the Glass. If you've been living under a rock, I don't know what you've been doing, but you got to check out my man's book, Beyond the Glass. TD, if I need to get a copy of the book, Beyond the Glass, where can I get it?
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. So go to Amazon, type in Tony Dixon, and it'll pop up. Or you can go straight to my website, TonyDixon.com, and they'll give you information of how to get it, man.
Yeah. And if I want to get a shirt that says mindset is everything, if I want to get a shirt that says believe, where can I pick up some merch?
You know what? We're linking that to the website as well, so you'll be able to click that. But if you go to TonyDixonFoundation.com, you can actually get to the store there as well.
Come on, man. And if you're a first-time watcher, thank you for joining us. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back again. Today, we want to have a conversation about some habits and routines and ways to kickstart your life. But I think, Kecalf, before we came on, you were talking about some things that a journey that you've been a part of and how you got started. So if you wouldn't mind, take us back and let the viewers see and the listeners hear what you were telling us.
Yeah, so each year at my church, we do the Daniel Fast. You guys familiar with that at all? If you're not,
yeah.
The Daniel Fast is a fast that where it's basically like is vegan. It's no meat. It's everything from the earth, vegetables, no eggs, no sugar. You can only drink fresh juices, water, and I start my day every day with coffee. I can't even have coffee during the Daniel fast. And so with that, of course, no alcohol, as a part of it as well. And so, it's really one of those things, during the time of just fasting, praying. One thing that I'm very intentional about each year that we do the Daniel fast is I pray for spiritual revelation and just newness during that time. And this is probably about the 4th or 5th year that we've been doing it. And like most fasts that we do, you're committed during that time. But as soon as the fast is over, guess what? You go back to those things that you just sacrificed or that you enjoyed or whatever. But it was something different about this year. So coming out of this Daniel fast, I didn't have a drink, of course, staying committed to it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit longer without drinking. And time passed, and now you fast forward to today, and we're coming up on 9 months, and I haven't gone back to having a drink. And so that was just something during that time that God, when I asked for that spiritual, rejuvenation or that newness, that was one of the things that it was like that he just took that away from me. And just the benefits of it that we can get into here a little bit later, it's just been tremendous.
Yeah. When you and I had talked about this before, and you were sharing that with me, you talked about some of the health benefits that it played with you with giving up, and as you were going through your fast.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of the health benefits that you had told me about, because you said, you were one way, then all of a sudden, once you gave it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, but before I get into that, I do want to say, because I know my mama watching it, other people watch it too. It's not like I didn't have a problem with alcohol, but alcohol was a part of my life. It was a part of my routine. But you talk about, just some of those health benefits that came from it. Well, I started to notice, one, my sleep improved tremendously. Okay, before when I was drinking, I would wake up and there was times that I would just feel sluggish and my day would just get off to a slow start. Right, so that's one health benefit. My sleep has been a lot greater. I'm able to get up and remain committed to the things that I've always done. But one of the biggest health benefits is that prior to this, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. Okay? And it was the first time that I had to take medication for it. When I went to the doctor this July and they checked my blood pressure was perfect, and my doctor took me off of the medication. So I no longer have high blood pressure just by changing things in my lifestyle. So.
Come on, man. Shout out to
That's
you
awesome,
for that, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I know when you think about going through, each one of us are in corporate America, right? So let's keep it real. With some of the after hours events, some of the happy hours and things like that, TD, you're hosting customers. Alcohol is always made available. And I know for a fact that in some cases when you decided to give it up, that may have created some social awkwardness when you're going to some of those events. I'll be the first one to tell you, and I don't drink. I haven't had a sip of alcohol since I was 18 years old. I'm not saying that to wear it with a badge of honor. That's just nothing that I decided to do in my life. But earlier on, when I started with the company that I'm with today, it used to be a running joke, and I kind of got used to it. Hey, hold your hand out, Tony. Somebody will come by and grab my ticket. Give me that ticket. You don't need it when they're giving you the alcohol tickets. Yeah. And at a point, I was just giving it away because, hey, I didn't care. I didn't care. And I'm sure it caused some social awkwardness for you once you decided to give it up. Is that right?
Oh, that's 100% true. Tony, I'm sure you can attest to this. We go to those events. You always know, right? That person drinks. That person gets drunk and needs help to their room. This person, no, you know them. Right. And so obviously people knew that, okay, well, I was one that would drink. And so when they would say, okay, hey, I'm going to the bar, you want anything, Kecalf? No, I'm good. And then after a while, it's like, all right, what's going on? Some change or whatever? And it's that awkwardness of not knowing how to answer that, especially in this journey for me, is because, like I said, it wasn't that I said that I'm giving up drinking. It just gradually happened. And so it wasn't a point that I made that decision. And so I didn't know how to answer those questions. So it was awkward during that time.
But then once so let's rewind the tape a little bit. We all went to college, played athletics, was a part of some of the greatest parties on campus. And then some of us had an opportunity to make it to the NFL, where alcohol and all types of things were always made available. But I also think when, Tony, you had mentioned that at one point you used it as a coping mechanism, right? To mask some of the depression that you were going through. So I want to make sure we see the dichotomy with the usage of alcohol. Sometimes we're doing it for, social acceptance, but then you had mentioned that you were using it as a mask and covering up, dealing with your depression, anxiety. Is that right?
Oh yeah. I mean, similarly to your point, like, I'll never forget a time where in my house, this was when I was still playing, my mom came to visit. And at that point, I bought this contraption that actually would have 5 or 6 bottles sitting on it, turned upside down, and you could like squeeze and get a shot out of it.
Yeah.
Man, my mom walked into my house and started praying like, "Oh my God, my son is alcoholic." I said, "Mom, I promise you, I am good." And she was like, "No." I had it right sitting on the bar, right in the front, and she was freaking out behind it. But the funny part about it, like, what I would use alcohol for would be. And what I ended up, hindsight, I can look back and say, it was habitual to a point where at the end of the day, I would get a drink, right? So it would actually got to the point where it marked the end of my day. When I was done with calls and I was done with work, I would go and get me a drink. I would sit and relax. And I started saying that this is what helps me relax, right? And that this is what helps me relax turned into, well, if I want to relax, I got to get a drink.
Yeah.
So now it turns into, that was outside of the social side. This was at home.
Yeah.
Right. So of course it was easy to be on the sales calls and with customers and, getting around rounds of drinks. But when it entered into the house as part of the daily process, that's when I started knowing, like, wait a minute now, like, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
Yeah. So, and again, we're not advocating for drinking. We're not advocating for people to stop drinking. You make your own life decisions.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure that you make your life decisions based on the experiences that we share. But Kecalf, you had mentioned a little while ago that, okay, Tony just talked about relaxing, but you said that when you stopped drinking, it made you relax better because you were able to go to sleep and rest at night. So I think, like, let's talk to some of the folks that may think that, again, this is a mental health opportunity. When you think that you're dealing with anxiety, can't sleep, and things like that, sometimes it may be the habits that you're doing that are putting you in a restless state.
It's so much in that, and I would be remiss if I don't just talk about it, because the central part is, we talked about the Daniel fast, right? So obviously my Christian beliefs when it comes to that. And so going back to what Tony was talking about, that was me as well, in the sense of having a drink, but that was to relax and to take my mind away from the hustle and bustle of the day, right? Everything that's going on. So turning to a bottle for that relaxation, right? So I don't think that you're going to be able to just, give that up and not have something in place. But now this was no longer drinking, all right? But I still need something to help me with my mind. I still need something to help me with, being able to relax and take the anxiety away. And what that is keeping my mind focused on Christ, at this point in time. So it's not that it's just stop and you move on. You have to replace that, because guess what? It was there for a reason. For me, I'm now seeing that reason wasn't a benefit for me, and I needed to make an adjustment and need to make a change. And I get better peace. I get rest now.
Come on. Yeah, and I want to make sure that we stick a pin in it right here. Our conversation that we're talking about is alcohol, but you can also have other things that you may need to fast and get away from, whether it's social media, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, X, whatever that is, whether it's shopping, whether it's food. There's other bad habits that we all can find ourselves with that we need to let loose of. But then when you talked about giving it up, I think one of the cool parts that people are able to recognize is the accountability partners that you have. Yeah. It sounded great when you said that you did this with your church, to have that community of support to carry you through that. Talk about the importance of, having an accountability partner and somebody to lean on when you're trying to transition into higher heights with your routines and habits.
Now let me turn and look at you two, because you guys are my accountability partner. This connection and relationship here, the fact that I'm on the couch with you guys, leading up to this, all right? We've been working on this since before January, right? Me understanding that, hey, Eric doesn't drink, all right? Me understanding that Tony doesn't drink. So now that's giving me a sense of, you know what? I can do this, right? If you asked me before, and if I said that, hey, could I just give up having a drink at the end of the day, I would have told you I don't have to have one, but I doubt if I'm going to just be able to let it go. But sitting next to you guys, and you're so much further. What, you hadn't had one since you were 18, all right? And so you guys are so much further along on your journey with it. That gives me inspiration that, you know what, I'm good. I'm okay sitting in a room full of everybody else having a drink and being able to say, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. And so, started at the church. All right. But my interactions and, with you guys is really the biggest inspiration and accountability for me to be able to hang in there and do what I'm doing.
Yeah. So if somebody was looking for accountability partners, what would you say to them?
If somebody's looking for accountability partners, I would say, yes, seek out someone who, is doing what it is that you desire to do or to change, and just talk to them. What I found in life is people are so willing to step up and help. Right? If you go to somebody and say, hey, I noticed this about you. Can you tell me more about it? They can be busy as they want to be. That's going to hook them to sit down and tell you whatever it is when you approach somebody in that way. So seek out somebody that's doing what you desire to do and just say, hey, I noticed this about you. How did you make that change? How do you do this? They will sit down and tell you about it. And so I just encourage people to do that.
Yeah. But then when you have people at your house, right, I want to go back to your mom, man. Hold on. Don't think I wasn't going to come back to that.
The holy one out.
Hey, but Tony, but think about it, man. Like, you got so many people that leave home and you know better, but you leave home and pick up some of these habits, whether it's you going to college, going to the professional levels, whether it's the NFL, corporate America, you get some money in your pocket. But talk about how you think that made what did that feel like when mama came in and busted you?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, you at that point, I'm probably, to put this in context, I'm probably 23. Right at this point, so of course I think I'm grown. Number one, right? Because my mom is not a drinker. My dad very seldom drinks, so it wasn't an example that was set in my household. And so the idea that I'm grown, this is my house, I do what I want to do, went the wrong way. But it actually stemmed from what she saw. within her family of people that were alcoholics and those that actually had health issues due to the overusage of alcohol. And my dad had the same. So what it actually did for me is it created a space for her to start talking about, hey, you might want to get control of this if you don't have control of this. But because just the image of seeing those bottles just ready, and I'm popping shots, just ready for a shot, was enough for us to have that conversation. I would tell you, I got defensive, right? Because I was at that point where, yeah, you're my mom, but this is my house type situation, but at the same time, her moment of explaining to me like the whole concept of why she was concerned in that way. Best believe there were nights that I would come when they left and it was sitting there that I would look at it too and be like, you know what, you're doing too much, right? You need to do something about that. So I think what a lot of people go wrong is that they come in the spirit of attacking someone, right, and try to threaten someone out of something that they're dealing with. But I think what I love about Kecalf example is like he went in and had no intention of that being an outcome, but he surrendered to possibilities. With me, I haven't had a drink in 5 years.
Yeah.
And the thought of going from drinking at to the point where I was because of the customer meetings or because I wanted to digress or relax to like going cold turkey, like I can tell you, it can be done, but you have to replace it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't replace that void with something, when it comes back, it's going to come back 2, 3, 5 times stronger.
Yeah.
And that's where you see a lot of people when they do give up something, it didn't mean them well, it comes back and just it takes them down a further dark path.
But you just said something. I want to go back. So if I know somebody that has a bad habit, whatever that habit is, you just said that we oftentimes come in the spirit of attack and chastising them, and being aggressive. But it pushes them. I think that when people get aggressive, it pushes me away from you and further towards what I'm trying to do. If you know somebody that's out there right now that is trying to speak to somebody and help somebody break a habit, give them a recommendation on how they can kickstart that conversation, or like, what do you think they can do to help that person that's trying to let some of those bad habits go?
Well, first of all, you got to have a relationship with that person, right? And what I love about what Kecalf said in terms of accountability is neither you nor I went to him and said anything about it. There is something to be said about an example that's being set, right? A lot of, especially when you're living a life that someone is looking up to the life that you're living, a lot of times your actions speak louder than words, right? And if not given the opportunity, meaning a question is directly asked to you about, well, what would you do different if you were me? You can't just run up in somebody's in space and trespass on what they have going, because to your point, it will take a lot of people to a point of defensiveness. And what they'll do is they'll start pushing back from you. Next thing you know, the relationship gets more distant and more distant and more distant, because here's the deal. This is the part that nobody want to talk about. You want to judge them for their alcohol usage, but they see something in you that's just as bad as alcohol usage that you hadn't dealt with, and you ain't ready to deal with. It could be you working too much. It could be you on social media too much. It could be you have your kids in too many sports and you run behind your kids too much. It's something that you're addicted to, and just because you don't have the issue of drinking alcohol, who are you to go and judge someone else?
Absolutely.
And I got to jump on this one. You know, you're right, because there's a lot of times that's how we think about it is how do we fix others, right?
Yeah.
But it's a personal journey. You got to work on fixing yourself, right? And then when somebody's in that space that they're focused on fixing something in their life, how do we be there? How can we be there to help support them through that journey in a loving way, right?
Yes.
So that's what it's all about. So I had to jump on.
Let me get one more. Let me get one more story because
Go
you
for it.
actually touched on something else that I definitely want to dive into real quick. Is the example of when they pointed at you and said, "What do you want me to get you from the bar? What do you want to drink, Kecalf?"
Yeah.
Like, I've had so many situations when I stopped drinking, and when I was having those customer meetings, and I'm the one with the credit card. And saying, what do y'all want to drink? I buy that round for them. Well, Tony, what you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking water. Oh, you not drinking? Oh, no, I don't drink. Something wrong?
Yep.
Like, no, I gave up drinking a while ago. Oh, okay. But what I started realizing around that same customer group is that the ice started melting in the drinks. The more we met, to the point we came around maybe 6 months later, we sat down for a meeting, nobody bought a drink. So my point is sometimes just your presence and your actions is all the statement you need to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's some strong stuff. So let's take it home right here. So I know, Kecalf, you said, and Tony, both you guys said, once you give up something, you got to replace it with something else. Yes. Once you give up something, you got to replace it with something else. What did you replace it with?
I replaced it with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, with the Word, right? When I'm feeling anxious, whatever it is, I recenter and I focus there. So that's my centering point from being able to replace that bad habit for something that's healthy for me for spiritual growth.
Come on. TD, when you gave it up, what did you replace it with?
I replaced it with exercise. So I started doing more exercise, being more intentional with that. And then obviously, as I'm exercising, I was podcasting. So I was listening to motivational words, some of which I share with you all. And then also I was listening to the music. And so I was reducing the noise and controlling my environment without having to use a drink to get me to relax.
Yeah, you had hit me with one because you had said, I think you just slid that in there on me. I was working a lot. And my wife would oftentimes, get at me about working, and I would go to work during the daytime, come home, and we're all victim of that because we all are driven and we're all, trying to continue to grow and excel, and we've got that competitive spirit. I had that computer up in the afternoon when I came home. I had to shut it down, sit on the couch with my wife, and just be there and spend time with my wife and my daughter, right? And again, with each one of these examples, whether it's alcohol, whether it's shopping, or whether it's work, whatever your situation and your addiction is, find out a way to let it go, but replace it with something else. Yeah. Whether it's exercise, whether it's reading your Bible, whether it's journaling, or whatever it is, man, find a way to help yourself. Kecalf, man, I appreciate you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, man, that's good, man. That's
yeah.
solid.
I appreciate you for sharing that, man. TD, give another shout out to the book, man.
Oh, yeah, Beyond the Glass. You can go to Amazon, pick it up there, or go to TonyDixon.com and get more information about it.
Thank y'all so much for checking us out. Catch us on another episode with the Tony Dixon and Friends podcast.